Good evening. I wanted to get on and talk a bit about a particular song I do at church, Psalm 46 by Capital City Music. I've been doing it at church for probably a year or two now, and it came up in a forum recently where some guy mentioned he had played it, so I asked him right off, what did you think of all the arpeggios? And what he said was he didn't play them because they were, he couldn't get them under his belt or whatever in time for the service or whatnot. So it made me think, because I've been doing it as written. I've been playing all the arpeggios as the song, as it appears on YouTube since I first started doing it. And what helped me, be able to play it at all is working on these string skipping arpeggio shapes, but also in the past I've worked on things like, the intro to Welcome to the Jungle. That really helps string skipping if you're ever going to do something like that. Riffs like that. But when I started looking at this, I realized it sounds crazy. It's going at a moderate tempo, 16th note. It sounds like it's going all over the place. But if you break it down, you have the picking pattern is essentially the same thing throughout the entire thing. You're just switching strings in a couple different instances. So I'm going to show you the picking pattern first. I'm going to play through it once, and then we'll look at each position. Because all you got to do is get the picking technique under your picking finger, and then just memorize. There's only 4 positions that you have to memorize for the entire song when it comes to the arpeggio section. So first, the picking pattern. So all it is we're alternating between the A string. In one instance, we do A, G, A, B like this. A, G, A, B, A, G, A, B. And then the other instance is A, D, A, B. You're just switching that middle string. So the outside strings stay the same, and so is the A string and the B string. That pedal tone, the B string, you're going to notice that's the pedal tone. So that stays the same no matter what your position you're in. So again, that's it. A, D, A, G, A, B, A, G, A, B, or A, D, A, B, A, D, A, B. That's it. That's the entire thing. You just got to look at the positions now. So I'll play through it once, the intro. You'll realize if you look at my picking hand, it's just doing the same thing. It does not change. It does not slow down anything. It just does the same thing. The only thing I'm changing is the positions over on the fretting hand. So here goes, playing through the intro verse section once. So that's it. So if you notice my picking hand, I'm just doing that same, jumping between the strings. Again, that pedal tone, you heard it there. That's that B. No matter what position you're in. So you just got to look. You got to first get that picking technique under your picking hand so you can practice that. I would just practice it in the position. So we'll take the first one. This is F minor. We're capoed on 1, so this is F minor. It's the A, G, A, B. So you get that under A, G, A, B, A, G, A, B. That just repeats, and we're fretting the 8th fret on the A and the G strings. So it sounds like this. If you're not used to, skipping strings like that type of arpeggio shape, I would just slow it down and start there. Start as slow as you need to go, but make sure it's clean. Because by the end of all your practice, the idea is to have your picking hand just running by itself. You don't want to have to think about your picking hand. You're just thinking about switching positions wherever you got to change chords. So after you practice a while, you should just be looking at your hand over here, and this should just be pretty much operating by itself. So that's the first position. Again, we're on the 8th fret on the A and the G string, and then we're playing that open B string again. In this case, we're capoed 1, so it's what is that? C, open C. Yep. So again, this is the first position, and we're just on the 8th fret on the A and G. And now we're going to move down. This chord is actually D flat in the key of E minor. So this is D flat, and we're on the 4th fret on the A string, which is a D flat. For all these shapes, your root note is always going to be on the A string. So up here we're on F minor. There And now we're on D flat here. D flat. And for the second position here, it's the same exact picking pattern. It's A, G, A, B, just like the first position, but we're fretting the 4th fret on the A string and the 3rd fret on the G string. And then in the next position, which is E flat, we're on the 6th string on the A, and this time we're switching to that A, D, A, G. I'm sorry, A, D, A, B, A, D, A, B instead of the G string. So now we're on the 6th string of the A, the 5th string of the D, and then again that open B. And then for the end of the verse and intro, it just goes back to this for another few bars. And then back to the 1. So those 3 positions are it. Memorize those, get comfortable with the picking pattern, and you'll have the intro and verse section done, taken care of. When it comes to the chorus, you can pretty much kind of do what you want. It's not so critical. I kind of do a little thing where I put on a delay and I follow along with the vocals. So I'll show you what that sounds like here. So I'm just following. You could play chords or whatever, just look at the chord chart, but I'm doing this, and it sounds pretty good. You'll hear a delay I tacked on here. And then it just repeats another time, and then you're back into the verse. With the arpeggios. That's the chorus. You can do something like that, or you can just play chords. It's not too critical. The critical part is the arpeggios into the bridge, and then the lead section after that. So again, back to verse 2 is just the same thing as again verse 1. So just for a refresher, here's the entire progression up to speed. Verse 2 just does that again through twice, and then the chorus the second time goes through 2 times, and you can tack on. I usually throw on 1 gain stage after I'm playing, the second time around on the chorus. But then we go into the bridge, which is back to arpeggios, but we're switching up the order and we're adding 1 more position in the middle of this. So if we look at the bridge, it starts off in the same position, the F minor, the very first one. And then we go down to the D flat one. And now we go up to a G sharp major arpeggio. So up here we're on the 11th fret of the A, which is a G sharp. There's G sharp on the E string. So we're doing the A, D, A, B, not E, A, G, A, B, but A, D, A, B on this shape. And we're on the 11th fret on the A and the 13th fret on the D. So it sounds like this. If I just play through the bridge, up to speed, it sounds like this. Oh, I messed that up. I went for the intro again. Bridge, the chords change a lot faster in the bridge. So we're starting off on, it starts off almost the same first 2 positions are used in the bridge section, but again, you notice the chord changes very fast. Pretty much every 4 bars, it's going to a new chord. So it's you got to keep up with the changes in this, but we start off on the F minor, and then we go down to the D flat, and then we go up to the G sharp major, and then the E flat. Time through it just up to speed. Bridge goes through a few times depending on what your worship leader wants to do. I usually end up stacking on at least one gain stage and my delay in between before we get to the lead section, because by the time I get to the lead, I don't want to have to stomp on too many things, so I engage at least one drive and delay during the buildup of that bridge. But that's the entire thing. That's the progression right there. Again, it's the same three positions, and you're just adding that G sharp major in between there. So again, work that up to speed. But the picking pattern isn't exactly the same. It's always A, G, A, B, A, G, A, B, or A, D, A, B, A, D, A, B. No matter what you're doing with your fretting hand, those are the only two things you're doing with your picking hand. So if you can get that, kind of keeps it a little more simple. Now after the bridge, they basically end off on the last chord. I think it ends off like this. And then there's a little bit of a build-up with a synth or something, and we go right into this lead section. So for the lead, I have at least two gain stages. I'll put it on now with my delay and a chorus. So I'll get you the tone and hear what it sounds like. So here you got a fat chorus on there. I got a loud delay, pretty aggressive sound, for church. But that's what this calls for if you listen to the song. So the lead goes like this. I usually end the lead just like that because that really sounds cool with the way the first chord of the chorus comes back in. And then after that, you can just start banging chords. Watching the video, the guy that's actually doing all the arpeggiating at this point in the chorus, he's just banging that chord. So I do the same thing. You can just bang that chords for the remaining chorus. But that's it. The important part is to get the picking pattern again. Or that's it. That's if you're not comfortable with it, just start slow and work it up, and then just memorize. It's only 4 positions. You have the F sharp minor, the F minor, the D flat, E flat, and then G sharp. And the G sharp only comes in the bridge. So in 4 positions, memorize the lead. The lead is not technical, but you just got to make sure you tack on the right effects to make it sound big. It sounds really cool if everything kind of lines up nicely by the time that lead kicks in. So think about your effects and definitely have enough gain by the time the lead comes around. So that's it. Work it up to speed if you have to, but it's a great song. And when you as the electric guitarist can nail all these parts, it really shines. It really shines live. And every time we've done it, I was fortunate enough to kind of play it pretty well. And listening to it afterwards, it's like one of the most powerful songs we do. So it's a great song, but it is very electric guitar dependent. Just work these parts up to speed. And, if you end up playing it at your church, you're going to see it's very powerful if you can nail everything just right. So I hope you enjoyed this. Thanks a lot.